campaign. We would deeply appreciate you going to our KBLA 1580 website and filling out a short climate justice survey, which will help us better serve our beloved community as we build out this campaign. It'll take you just a few short minutes to complete the online survey, and the information you provide us will be invaluable as we do our part to hold folk accountable and amplify the voices of our people in this climate conversation. When you take the survey, you'll be automatically entered to win seats at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. So, hit our website at KBLA 1580. Help us out by taking the short climate justice campaign survey, and you could be our guest at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. Thank you in advance for your consideration and cooperation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we care about the community, we care about the climate. We care about the climate.
Again, I testify for you. I told I like you, that I do it all, and I'm around, you're scared to do. I'm not, long as you joking now here for me. I ain't got it, mobbing, scheming, looting, hide your bodies. Long as you dreaming about me, ain't no problem. I don't got nobody just with you right now. Tell the truth, I look better under you. I can't lose when I'm with you. How can us lose and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. I can't lose when I'm with you. I can't just snooze and miss the moment. You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. You do.
Welcome in. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. I hope your day is amazing and you are relaxed in a comfortable place and ready to get into these trending topics and headlines. Of course, this is the show where we hit them all across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture with me, Jill Munroe. And, you know, we're going to get into some things as always. But before we do, make sure that you are following us all over social media at KBLA 1580. Hit me up at Stiletto Jill. I love to hear from you. Also, download the app. And, you know, we're always in YouTube. There's a lot of conversation that happens there. So get the visual to go along with this audio experience there. Now that we've gotten all that out of the way, let me let you know what we're going to get into tonight. You know, we are always on theme here. Andy is always on theme. And that was SZA with Snooze. And we are going to get into how SZA's album, SOS, has made history for Black women. And, you know, that's going to circle around to the conversation of Album of the Year. We're just a little week over a half removed from the 2024 Grammys. And SZA was up for that. And I am one of the people that feel like she deserved Album of the Year. You know, checked a lot of boxes, touched many different people across genres, I feel, pierced the consciousness in the zeitgeist. Aren't those things that you want from your Album of the Year? And it made history. So we'll get into that in the first hour. We're also going to talk about, it's already started, Beyonce dropped 2 singles last night in the country genre, and already there are some country stations that allegedly push back on playing Beyonce's new singles. So we'll get into that, tell you the backstory about that and where that currently stands. And in the third hour, a new report has come out, and surprise, surprise, once again, Black audiences consume the most media out of all U.S. groups, so out of all other demographics. So we're going to take a look at the findings and, you know, get into, once again, why is it that although we consume the most, our specific viewing requests are often overlooked. So we're going to talk about that in hour 3. But before we get into all of that, you know, I always like to start the night off with a few conversation starters. These are topics that we can't get all the way into, but I need you to be aware of them because that's what we do here. We keep you in the know. So first up, listen, it is concert season in America. If you haven't noticed, everybody is gearing up for a tour, a residency, or a festival. Well, we have some new names to add to that list. Lionel Richie and Diana Ross are gearing up to headline the inaugural Fool in Love Festival. Now, the lineup includes Al Green, Shaka Khan, Charlie Wilson, Dionne Warwick, Gladys Knight, Morris Day and the Time, Smokey Robinson, the Isley Brothers, the OJs, Santana. Did I mention Gladys Knight? Yes, I did. George Clinton in Parliament, Kool and the Gang, the Jacksons. I don't know what iteration, but some of the Jacksons are going to be there, and more. So it's also going to feature some contemporary acts like Lady Ray. I don't know if you remember back in the day, the artist that Missy Elliott and Timbaland brought out, Nicole Ray. She is now known as Lady Ray. Duran Jones and the Sacred Souls, Aaron Frazier, Baby Bash, and others. So it's going to take place in LA, the first of its type, on August 31st. Tickets go on sale, I think it said February 19th. So I'll get you more details, like the location and so forth. But is that something you want to check out? I would be interested. Maybe since it's older acts, I'm going to assume that the seating options will be better, you know? If it is a daytime festival, I don't know. I'm going to assume like if it's blankets and stuff, everybody will have their place. So you'll be able to see. So that's something that I might like check it out. I don't know if that means that I've crossed over officially into vintage, but I might do that. I might check that out, maybe, because generally I am opposed to festivals, not for me. But that sounds like a good lineup. And Real Housewives of Atlanta fans, it is official. Portia, not Williams, Gubadea, is making her way back to her peach holding status. She's confirmed that she's returning to Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 16. She shared it on her Instagram account and referenced her new last name. So, she stepped away in season 13. She married businessman Simon Gubadea. And, it's been a little ups and downs and drama since, but Portia's back in the mix. When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that for Bree's car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Bree's car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy for Breeze. La 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 la.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So I mentioned that Portia is coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. In addition to returning to the series to grab her peach back, she also announced that she's inked an overall scripted talent deal with NBC Universal Entertainment. And that means that she will be exclusively collaborating with NBC Universal. And it will be on scripted projects that I'm sure she will be acting in some, specifically for, their streaming platform, which is Peacock. And she said that she's incredibly thankful for the vision and faith NBC Universal has put into me. So my question with some of these things is, and it's always a good thing because, they've invested in Candy in the same way, not in scripted per se, but she's had several different reality shows or docuseries, however you want to term them, with NBC Universal at this point. And we'll have more in the future, even though she's left the series. But is it kind of akin to the 360 deals that we hear about in music? So it's just like, just in case, nobody wants to see another, well, not nobody, but I'm sure they're very weary of another Bethany situation popping off where she was on the Housewives franchise and then developed her Skinny Girl Margarita and sold it for millions and millions, and they didn't get any parts of that. But anyway, congratulations to Portia. And I know fans are excited to have her back, and we'll see what happens. So last night I mentioned that Usher's Super Bowl halftime performance and the game itself were the most watched ever. So the totals are in, and I mentioned last night that it was 30 million more than Dr. Dre and Snoop and Rihanna's performance in the years prior to. So the total official number of the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl halftime show, 129.3 million viewers. So that means 129 million people heard that crack that they're trying to make us think that we didn't hear with Alicia Keys. I'm just kidding. I mean, go back and fix it. So what do you think about that, though? I do wonder, is it okay? Nobody wants a flawed moment out there, especially a moment as big as this that's going to live on forever. So since we have the technology now, is it okay to go back and clean those types of things up, tweak those mistakes, or should it just live on as it is? You know what I'm saying? Think about all the great things we wouldn't have, like Carl Lewis singing the national anthem when he was like, they could have just edited it out. I mean, I know that I talk about the future of AI and potentially what it could mean and these different systems, but to me, it is concerning that they're just going back and taking it out and not even a note or saying anything like this performance has been altered from its original state or something like that. It just seems so easy to start, slippery slope.
So you're talking about the playback?
Yes.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't edit it. They should keep it as is, unless obviously if they were cussing or something like that. Right,
because I just, I understand why nobody wants a flawed vocal performance out there. It's not indicative of the professional that Alicia Keys is, but it starts to get tricky to me because what other moments are we just going to decide, I'll just clean that up. And then it's like, but I saw this, but now it's this, you know?
Quite frankly, I feel like, the way the internet works, nothing will ever be deleted. So even if, the actual NFL page decides to edit it, there's going to be somebody on X or something like that that's going to have the full version.
I mean, it's already floating around side-by-side comparison. So that is a fair point. Shout out to Fahima in the chat. Thanks for checking in. Shout out to Forensic Accountant for checking in with us. So let's get into this SZA story a little bit. So as mentioned, I thought that SOS should have been Album of the Year. I feel like it was selling out everywhere. So was her tour. When you looked at the audience that was attending those shows, it wasn't just, Black people. It was kind of a mixture. We were there in the building holding it down, but it's recently been announced that SZA has officially been in the top 10 of the Billboard 200 for a year, making her the first Black female artist to achieve that milestone. So listen, Billboard charts have been in existence for quite some time, and we know that the streaming era is creating a different standard for achievement and what can happen. So it's slightly different, but at the same time, an album that has managed to stay in the top 10 for more than a year knocked off the selected album of the year. I just feel like, when Jay-Z was talking about some people would be robbed, SZA, even though she won, I think 2 or 3 Grammys that night, is someone who I feel, should have got that award. But she was very happy and thankful about it. She posted on her Insta stories on Monday night, "Thank you and happy Black History Month." So this is another Black History Month fact that we will be able to take down the line. Sometimes I think, wow, it's so crazy. We're still having the first Black whatever in 2024. But at the same time, I think it still kind of shows how amazing we are as a culture and as a people. At any rate, SOS was released December 9th of 2022, and it was her sophomore album, debuted #1, right? Spent 10 weeks there, and the last time a woman had spent more than 10 weeks in the top 10s was Mariah Carey for her self-titled album, the debut album, and that was in 1991, and it was there at #1 for 11 weeks, right? So by the time SOS reached 18 weeks at #1, it also was at the top of the R&B hip hop album charts. She had passed up Aretha Franklin's Aretha Now, which had been at the top of the charts for 17 weeks, right? And SZA is the first woman, period, to break that record in 54 years. So once again, I think if anybody this year was deprived of that award, again, it's all subjective, but I think that it clearly was SZA. And that's just my feelings on that. And, we'll have to see what happens the next time around. But shout out to her for continuing to persevere and, do it in spite of whatever odds we may think are against us. Okay, so last night I mentioned that there was a Cetaphil commercial that the concept of which was basically lifted directly from a TikTok commercial, right? So the commercial had a Taylor Swift-esque spin on it, right? Basically, in the commercial, it featured a girl with some friendship bracelets on, which we know Taylor to wear, and her Black father is watching football, but of course, the daughter becomes interested because somebody else is involved. So the dad and the daughter start bonding over skincare, and he gets her own jersey, and it's a very, very sweet moment. Problem is that there was a young lady on TikTok, her name was Sharvina, and she and her stepfather, who is white, had bonded in the exact same way prior to, and the video had millions and millions and millions of views. They did skincare routines, down to him coming into her room with eye patches on and them doing it together and, building up the excitement. And this started last September for them. Well, after social media did their thing and became outraged on her behalf, the brand actually did reach out to her, and she said that they made things right with her. Not sure to what degree and in what capacity, but that is one instance of social media using their reach for good. And I think it's important because you can't just step in and swipe someone's creative IP and not at least compensate them or give them some type of credit. The other thing that I found interesting about these set of commercials is the fact that although they don't mention Taylor Swift, nor do they show her, nor did they specifically, they can't say anything about the Super Bowl. They didn't even use big game, but they are trading on the look and feel and aesthetics of a Taylor Swift fan. And I wonder how, as we advance in IP and AI and what is considered, your property as far as reach and imprint, how that plays out for an artist, because you are effectively playing off of their image without literally using their image. Now that's power and that's reach, but I just wonder how that's going to come down and play out in the future. So thought that was a little interesting ditty left over from the Super Bowl. But I wonder if we'll see more of this, as we get into these different areas and people are trying to find their ways to break through the clutter and the noise. So we all remember Bo Knows, right? Bo Jackson. He was one of the first. It was just him and Dion, but I can't remember if Dion came first or if Bo came first. I believe Bo came first, being a two-sport athlete. He played both baseball and football. He won a Heisman Trophy at Auburn. Well, recently he had to sue his niece and nephew for trying to extort him, and he won a $21 million verdict. So basically, the decision also includes a permanent restraining order barring his niece and nephew, Thomas Lee Anderson and Erica Anderson, from bothering or contacting Jackson and his immediate family members. And they have to stay 500 yards away from him and remove any social media content about Jackson. So this lawsuit was filed last April, and it alleges that the relatives tried to extort $20 million from him through harassment and intimidation. And basically, what happened in the case was that the harassment started. By the way, Bo Jackson is 61 years old at this point. The harassment started in 2022, and it included threatening social media posts and messages, public allegations that put him in a negative light, discourse about private information, and it was said to be causing Bo severe emotional distress. He said that Anderson wrote on Facebook that he would release photos, text messages, and medical records of Jackson's to show America that he wasn't playing around. The Andersons also demanded money in exchange for ending, their, I guess, blackmail, extortion, basically. They threatened to come to a restaurant near his house and disrupt a charity event that he was hosting. And they also threatened, I guess, in some form or fashion, his immediate family. And so he sought stalking orders against them, and, he also claimed that they brought a civil conspiracy claim against them. So it doesn't really say why they started doing this or what was the catalyst for this behavior. However, Jackson was awarded the prize. It has to come down in some form or fashion to money. And that's shameful because family always falling out, and publicly so, for money is really quite sad. And I mean, he's 61 years old. Like, what are you doing? Is anyone really, I mean, real talk, how much or who from did they really attention did they, and I suppose he's still out there doing things, so it's embarrassing for him. But really, who is checking for a scandal on Bo Jackson? I don't think they are, you know? But the quest for money and relevancy is a lot. A lot, a lot. Okay. So, listen, you know, we talked a few weeks ago about Nicki Minaj and her beef with Megan Thee Stallion, and that it's possible that her beef might really also be, or maybe not really be, but in addition to, she may have a beef with the Carters. Well, some believe that Nicki might have been shading Beyonce on her recent Queen radio station head broadcast. So she started talking in an alleged exaggerated country accent and was talking about dropping new music. And, you know, the fans are upset. I don't know. I think Nicki is just going through something right now. And it's so crazy because all of the darts that she used to throw at Little Kim, now she fits right into that same box, you know? The same hole that you dug for somebody else, you are now living in it firmly. And it's such a shame because Nicki is talented. I really hope that whatever's going on with her, she gets it together, or she just, you know, has a change of heart about the current course in life. Because, I mean, listen, this here thing, we know it moves fast, and relevancy can be gone in an instant. And there's so many girls now, and even if they aren't as talented as Nicki, it's still filler. Andy?
That's why you respect your elders.
Man, big facts on that. I'm big on that, you know? I don't know why people don't respect that experience. You can have a different opinion. You can understand that things are different now, but don't disrespect what they went through to set the stage to get you to where you are so that you can be so comfortable in the current position that you hold. It's only right. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
When I'm with you, how can I snooze and miss the moment? You just doing, boy. Nobody do body like you do. I can't lose when I'm with you. How can I snooze and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. You do.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Maryland Governor Wes Moore continues to have a solid approval rating. The latest Gonzalez research poll shows 58% of respondents approve of the job Moore is doing, while 28% disapprove and 14% had no opinion. Among Democrats, Moore, who is black, has a 74% approval rating, while 57% of Republicans disapprove of the governor. Pressure is building on Speaker Mike Johnson to bring Ukraine and Israel funding to the House floor for a vote. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who is black, told reporters there are enough votes in the House to send the bill to President Biden's desk today. Johnson says he will not hold a vote on the supplemental spending due to a lack of strict border policy provisions. The legislation includes $60 billion for Ukraine, $14 billion for Israel in its war with Hamas, and nearly $5 billion to support partners in the Indo-Pacific. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Did you know Discover wants everyone to feel special? That's why with your Discover card, you have access to 24/7 customer service, as well as $0 fraud liability, which means you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
We all agree that America has a very serious problem.
Okay, KBLA delegation, we need your help as we launch our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We would deeply appreciate you going to our KBLA 1580 website and filling out a short climate justice survey, which will help us better serve our beloved community as we build out this campaign. It'll take you just a few short minutes to complete the online survey, and the information you provide us will be invaluable as we do our part to hold folk accountable and amplify the voices of our people in this climate conversation. When you take the survey, you'll be automatically entered to win seats at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. So, hit our website at KBLA 1580. Help us out by taking the short climate justice campaign survey, and you could be our guest at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. Thank you in advance for your consideration and cooperation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we care about the community, we care about the climate. We care about the climate. This is KBLA Talk 1580, home of the 2024 Climate Justice Campaign.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do Black history every single day. In fact, as the only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi, we are Black history. Our annual Black History Month luncheon is fast approaching, and we want to be sure to give you ample time to get your company, organization, church, or group to join us at this year's celebration on the last day of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyaudio.media.com or call 323 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
The sun, the rain, the moon, the stars, and the mountains. I'll give you the world and all that you wish for, and even more. Girl, I'll love you more than you could know, and that's for sure. I climb the highest hill, across the widest sea. Nothing could discourage me, and I pray that you'll be always there for me, forevermore. Oh, ready or not, I'll give you everything and more. All that I've got is yours.
You had to let that after 7 right out. You know, it is Valentine's Day tomorrow. So, hopefully you have someone in your life that inspires you to feel that way. Ready or not, I'll give you the sun, the moon, the rain, the stars, and the mountains. Come on, that's love. That romantic love. I don't feel like love is expressed in those terms anymore. Maybe it was too much of a fantasy, but I appreciate a little bit of that. What do they call it? Limerence? Maybe? Andy?
You guys are too high maintenance.
Women?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
I'm just saying. That's one of the reasons why we're not begging anymore.
I don't know.
Y'all want equality and everything like that? I'm sorry. You trying to be like me. You trying to be a man just like me.
Is that what it is? Or were they left to their own devices because they had no choice?
That too.
And
but
so...
in turn, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, I had a chick one time, like, low-key loke up on me one time. You know what I'm saying? I was like, hold on. You just real bold, huh? You want to be, you want that much equality, huh? Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to ask the context, I'm just going to assume that it was just a bad day for her.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Man.
Listen, women still want romance and flowers and everything. They don't want to be, they do not, I mean, maybe not all, but there are some out there that do want romance, I believe. They don't want to be treated as disposable. And I think that has a lot to do with things, You have to think a lot of hip hop in the 90s, which kind of set the tone, which spilled into R&B was, we don't love them so-and-sos, That was the attitude. That was the thought, West Coast. Pimping.
So we blaming Snoop?
I'm not blaming Snoop.
Too short.
I'm not blaming Snoop or Too Short. They are a reflection and an extension of what they were seeing out there, which was reflected back. It just, things got hectic. That's all. I don't know. I don't have the answers, Sway. All I can do is point out the situation and, again, hope that you have someone that you are connecting to that you can, after 7, ready or not it, in the mix.
Nah, but for real, that's one of the reasons why R&B is not popping.
Because there's no more begging. There's no more love.
Begging. There's no more love at all.
It's no more simple, the simple things, I want to go run off in the rain with you and whatever. Y'all not taking your shirts off in the rain, dropping to your knees with the 360 camera view.
You know, because, there's been several times where, us fellas done rolled the red carpet and, they was never really feeling us from jump.
I mean, how many women have been that starter kid, that starter wife, that starter woman to dust a man off, make him pretty, put him together, push him out into the world, and instead of him, no, not trying to fix. No, you say you want support, you want to help, you want the person to be down for you. So, hey, you know what? You should clean up your attire a little bit. It might help you look a little bit more professional, or maybe it'll brighten your look up, and you start feeling good. Other women start looking at you. Pew.
Then it's a problem.
For you. No, for you, because you like, all the attention, all these new women. I am fine. I forgot how fine I was. Girl, thank you. That's what it is. That's what happens. They pick them up, dust them off like, I'm going to be down for you. I'm going to hold you down, daddy. That's what you said. We going to work this out together. And then you get up and you like, let me go get what I really want.
You're trying to change all aspects of me, though.
Is that what it is? You think that's what's going on? They're trying to change too much?
Absolutely.
First, it feels like support.
You can feel comfortable.
First, it feels, no.
Allow me to be me. Allow me to be the man, though.
I see online all the time. I saw this guy talking about, a woman would leave a guy when he loses his job instead of helping him fill out resumes and job. What you mean, But then if she comes like, baby, I saw this job, and she's trying to force me into think. It's all communication. You just got to find someone that matches your communication style so you can communicate what you need to feel supported and cool, and you can reflect that back, and it all works out.
Absolutely.
Listen, Forensic Accountant in the chat, going back to our artist conversation earlier, says, artists should consider recording songs that allow them to sing them forever, like Tony Bennett. No more recording songs that force you to push past your natural range. I mean, I think that sounds good maybe in theory. However, the problem with that is, who says you'll still be able to keep your natural range even if you do that? Who says the song that is in that range is going to be the one that is outside of the box that connects with the audience, so that's the one that they want to hear forever and ever? You never know. You can feel like you know a hit. You can feel like you can tell, but you can't anatomy a hit in that manner, I don't believe.
Is that kind of like Usher doing Climax?
Yeah, Climax is really in his high falsetto register, too high for him. And so that's what I'm saying. I understand the point and I agree with it, right? You hope that song doesn't become your signature, because you'll never be able to perform it live. Not saying that Usher can't, but we have definitely seen some people where we're like, yeah, that's an album cut only, even though we want to see it. Listen, well, we'll talk about all things related to Miss Beyonce next hour. So, there's been some mention of Monique's children and all of the conversations surrounding Monique and the back and forth with the other people and blase. And her son came out to address some of the commentary. I believe her son, this is her oldest son, and it's from her first marriage, I think, or at least it's not the relationship, the children with the relationship with Sydney, daddy. Well, I feel really, his name is Shallon, and, it's obvious that this is a family that needs healing and needs it to happen offline, if they so desire to have these conversations. Shallon made it pretty clear that he felt neither he nor his mother were interested in reconnecting with their relationship. Monique and her husband Sydney did come out and, gave their version of the story. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying initially about Monique's interview with Shannon. With some situations, you feel how you feel, but your perspective of the situation may not accurately portray what is going on. And it's hard to have a conversation around that at times if a person is unwilling, you know? And how do you move on from that if everyone is like, nope, I'm right and I'm right in the room and this is the way you made me feel, regardless as to if that was the intent or what you said and it was their perception. It becomes something that is very complicated to navigate. We're going to get more on into that story and kind of what the response has been to Shalon speaking out when we come forward. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, LA, when you're trying to get where you need to go, like work, school, and what matters to you, Metro is here to get you there. With discounted fares and free pass programs, Metro is making public transportation affordable and easy to ride for everyone. Plan your trip at metro.net.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Listen up, City of Los Angeles renters that live in rent-controlled units. Landlords can now increase your rent by 4%. Know these 3 facts. The rent increase is allowed February 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2024. An extra 1% per utility up to 6% can be added if the landlord pays the entire gas and electric bill. And illegal rent increase complaints can be filed at housing.lacity.org. Check if you live in a rent-controlled unit and learn more at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So we were talking Monique and her son, and he read a statement. His video was about 9 minutes long, and he covered quite a few things in there. And in it, he, alluded to the fact that Monique wasn't a great mother or a present mother, which is something that Monique has shared. She was a young mother trying to get it, and also in a comedy career, so probably took her away from home quite a bit. But there's some other things in it, and he makes some other accusations. And again, this is something where perspective means a lot. Both of their opinions of the situation could be correct in their viewpoint, but they probably need to talk, probably needs to be some therapy added in it, and it definitely needs to be away from the internet. Now, obviously, her husband is, her manager, her husband, her king, daddy, all of these things. And he referenced him as daddy, her daddy, quite a bit in the statement. And Monique didn't take too kindly to that. She said he was playing, and that she also added that he has been Uncle Sydney to her son his entire life, because remember, Sydney and Monique were childhood friends that reconnected later as adults. Monique also assessed that him speaking out, part of what's motivating him is some form or fashion of mental illness. And so my question is, and again, not knowing, he did not appear to be in the statement, but I don't know. I don't know, anything. He seemed of clear mind, but I don't know him. I don't know. But I wonder, is that fair to say when you were just speaking out about people putting titles or things on you that don't belong, when you are giving your version of what you felt happened to you? It's like we always are with it until that finger comes back around to us. And once again, it's parents and their child, and it's very layered, and there's a lot of things at work there. But I do think that it's kind of unfair, even if it's hard to say, but I just think it's unfair to throw that out there. I don't know. It's just complicated. I think they should take us out of the group chat and talk to each other and heal, or if not, talk to therapists individually so that they can get some closure to a place of peace surrounding that, because no good comes from bringing your family issues to social media. Most of these people don't care. They're not really concerned about your well-being or the family coming together. And it's out there forever and ever. When you are past it, you could be somewhere one day and someone just brings it up curiously because it's out in the free world. Kendi says, Monique calling her own son mentally ill says everything you need to know about Monique. Forensic accountant says that's not fair unless he has been diagnosed. I think even if he has been diagnosed, it's kind of a low blow. And again, I understand this coming to a place where people are like, well, why is he coming out about his mother at this time? Does he need money? Does he have a job? Is he just jealous? And Sydney did indicate that there have been things that they have done for him, financially, and that he was ungrateful and blah, blah, blah. It just, again, with these type of things, there's lots of nuances to them, and it's probably far, far better if they handle it away from the glare of the public. But will that happen? Probably not. Will they come to a resolution? We would hope so, because, you want family to at least, again, be at peace with wherever they're at. So I wish them good luck to that. I hope that they don't bring it back to the internet, because then, whenever they do, they'll start yelling at us and telling us that we need to stay out of family business. But we'll see. I will say, though, in seeing Sydney in some of these things, Monique's husband, Daddy, it does seem like, and even in listening to that old, video that they recorded of the conversation with Tyler, etc., that maybe in some aspects his business acumen as it relates to these things is not to the same level as maybe the individuals that he is dealing with, and that there may be times where he may be misunderstanding, and maybe he's not. Maybe he is purposely not trying to see what they are saying, but it does appear that some of these problems are from lack of knowledge as far as the way some things work in the business. Now, some might say that's a good position to have, because when you don't know what the standard is, you don't necessarily fall in line for things that aren't worthwhile or bad treatment, or you don't know that you're not supposed to push for certain things. However, I think that there is something to be said for understanding how business works in an industry and what some of the industry standards are. Because when you have a better grasp of that, then you can understand how to expand outside of them in ways that don't necessarily, I don't know, end up with this kind of jacket and reputation. I really appreciate Monique, and I do believe a lot of the things that she said, but in some of those situations, I still think that she and Daddy got in their own way. But we'll have to see how all this plays out, and especially as it pertains to her son, I really hope that they can resolve that away from social media and without the need to go live or over explain to us again, because I just feel like no good can come of it, especially with family. So, we'll keep positive thoughts for them, and hope that, everything goes okay for it. It's got to be, well, I say this knowing full well because I've grown up with friends whose parents were celebrities, and then now I have friends who are celebrities who have children, and it's a complicated relationship because that is still just your parent when they're at home, but the whole world sees them in a different way and to a certain degree claims ownership over a certain aspect of them. So, I hope that they can work it out. I'm all for family. Monique also made it very clear that she did apologize and accept some responsibility for it, and that he did not want to accept it. I think it's a hard thing and it's a complicated thing between parents and kids sometimes, because parents feel like, well, look, I said this, what more do you want? And sometimes it misses the absentee parent. I believe that you probably are going to have to take more steps than you would have under ordinary circumstances because, they're the child. But we'll have to see. We wish them good luck to that. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into Beyonce and the Oklahoma stations that initially refused to play Beyonce's new single and what her fans did about it. We're also going to get into some news and updates about her son, Jules, plus more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Mayor